Hey guys, and welcome back to the Not Windsor Time podcast. We took a brief creative hiatus, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It does turn out when you're running a business as you are, you tend to get kind of busy. And then through the various creative kind of pursuits that I've been working on recently, we just got overwhelmed.
We're two busy guys.
We are, and it's funny. I kind of want to talk about for a second up top. When you're looking at different podcasts and things like that, it seems super easy. Like, oh, they just get together with some of their friends. They film for 20 or 30 minutes, and then that's it. But the reality is going through and trying to balance out not only our schedules, but Charles, who's usually behind the camera. Today it's just a tripod. We miss you, Charles. Charles as well, and then if we had a guest as in addition to that, it just got to be quite a bit, and like a 3 or 4 hour process because we would batch film content for you guys. So we're back. This is going to be a shorter form kind of take on deep dive where we check out watches that are in the shop and things that we just think in general are interesting.
Yeah, some of the feedback we initially got, and people, the few followers that we have really loved what we've done, but it was, feedback was, let's see some more watches, let's see them up close and really talk about them, as opposed to, as much as we love our guests and we'll continue to have guests, we really want to dive into those watches.
For sure.
So
and
do that.
Again, thank you for you guys. I feel like we had a cool, 3 to 5 month, kind of run. And then you guys haven't let it die. So I think we got questions just about every week. Either in fun group meetups or just around the store about when this was coming back. So here we are. We're checking out a very cool blue watch. We have some Reposado.
So this is not to do it. First of all, cheers. Cheers. Let's try this.
Smells good.
So this is a tequila that a friend of ours, whose name is Jeff, just turned us on to, but a new tequila brand called Southbound.
Yeah.
So shout out to Southbound, and you make some awesome tequila, really and we will probably have it many times here.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Delicious.
Before we get into this, what do you have on the rest today?
So today I'm wearing my vintage Rolex Air King.
Very cool.
From, I want to say, the very early 60s, and admittedly got turned on to this via Ryan Gosling. I really hate to be like, but I was like, I gotta find that watch that Ryan Gosling kind of got spotted wearing originally, and he has quite a few older vintage, smaller, OPs and Air Kings and things like that.
For sure.
But this particular one has the kind of arrowhead index, not broad arrow, but arrowhead index, and the 369 a la Explorer a little bit, and just a cool watch with this kind of eggshell creamy dial. It's got its own little patina to it, and small but wears so well. It's almost one of those watches that wears small, or wears better because it's smaller.
For sure.
Type of thing.
34 millimeters?
I believe so. 34 or 35 at most.
Ryan Gosling, I think it was La La Land. I don't know if he used to be an Omega ambassador, but in La La Land in several movies. I don't remember in The Notebook if he was even wearing a watch, but he used to wear it was like a vintage Omega Constellation or something like that.
There's a whole little slew of vintage, smaller vintage pieces, and he was kind of ahead of his time with that.
He was, and now he has a very cool collaboration or partnership, I guess, with Tag Heuer, and Tag Heuer is doing incredible things right now as well, like with the glass box, the Night Diver that we both have, the all black. They're doing very cool stuff as well. So it's cool to see him wearing some modern stuff. But yeah, those vintage pieces he had were just such a cool thing to see.
Absolutely.
Out in the mainstream.
So how about you? What are you wearing?
So I'm wearing one of my latest acquisitions. This is the MN20.
Oh yeah.
Tudor Pelagos FXT. So this is one that actually came through the shop. I want to say 2 months ago at this point, something like that. From one of our mutual friends, and he had traveled all over Europe with it, and has all this kind of cool built-in, both friend memories, and then some memories I'll hope to make in it as well. But just a really great watch. I'm definitely a sucker for what Tudor is doing right now.
Tudor's
and has been
awesome
doing
stuff.
They just released the all black version. I would still say this is more for me. The black is cool, but just the blue on this, I think they really nailed. And just the sizing, proportions, everything are phenomenal.
Less tall than the classic Pelagos, which
It
really
is. Yeah.
makes it sit well on the wrist. So.
Absolutely. Still love the OG though.
Love the OG, especially the Carolina Watch Club.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I wore it the other day, and it's still they're two entirely different watches.
Yeah.
For how seemingly similar that they should be. So
Totally.
anyway, well, we have a phenomenal vintage-inspired, double co-branded,
Almost like triple
Zenith,
branded. Yeah, it's
Mr. Porter, and Bamford collaboration watch here.
such a wild
Yeah,
watch.
it
With
is.
speaking of blue watches, it's like the bluest of blue dials.
Yeah, so solar blue, really killer. As you can see, we have our co-host Z down here who'll be coming in and out of the
guest.
shot. But this is the Heritage 146 chronograph in solar blue, a really, really incredible striking blue. It almost has kind of like an ombre where it's a little bit darker on the outside, and then as you go in, it lightens up. Really cool, 38 millimeter case, Alcantara strap. So it was done. It's a Zenith watch, customized, I guess in part, however you want to say that, by Bamford, and then it was retailed by Mr. Porter. Something really interesting about this is, in today's industry, everything is limited edition, right? There's limited editions that get released by almost every brand. Well, this one was also limited edition, but it's limited edition 1 of 25, and this is
25 is super low in this industry. I mean, it's crazy. Is it
So this is
18?
18
Yeah.
of 25, which is just
And
such a cool thing.
So cool. And turn that thing. I mean, the El Primero movement, as we all know, in terms of chronographs, not only is it hyper reliable and just storied, but it is such a beautiful movement. It has so much depth to it, and I know we have great B-roll of that, but the beauty of that movement is second to none.
It is.
Especially in this price point.
I was gonna say, when you are in that call it under $20,000, sports watch, and even I don't know what this retailed for originally, but under 15,000, let's call it. This and the Omega Speedmaster, I think, are the two that you really look at when you're looking at chronograph movements. This is automatic, obviously. The Speedy is manually wound. But just a really, really cool piece, I think.
So cool. Little pop of color with the running seconds hand that really just stands out from the blue.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It's killer.
Definitely one that until it came through our shop really was not on my personal radar.
No,
and,
not at all. I think it was released in 2018.
I had not. I'm sure I had seen it out there, but really seeing it in person, it is something special. And, anytime I turn over a Zenith chronograph that's based on, the El Primero movement, I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome.
Zenith is one of those brands, I think, when you go back, to the, was it early 2000s, late 90s with the Zenith Daytonas. And then obviously much before that, but in most recent times, JLC is always called the watchmaker's watchmaker, but truly, Zenith has just done so many incredible things over the years. And it's a brand, when you're talking about mainstream pieces, that is not super out there. If we were talking about a 1 in 25 Rolex, JLC, Cartier, any of the hype kind of brands at the moment, this would be in a museum somewhere. This wouldn't be sitting around. But the fact this is 1 of 25, you're more than likely never going to see one again, unless you're hanging out with George Bamford, and then maybe he has one.
And you could say that's because it's such super specific watch, Bamford and Mr. Porter. But if you look at the watch aesthetically, it's not like it's that chained to one of those things. I mean, it's just a beautiful watch that works for anyone.
For sure. You have right at the 6 o'clock that very, very small Bamford logoing. But outside of that, I mean, it just looks...
Just a sweet watch.
Yeah, unless it's just a very cool blue watch. And that solar blue is really, really killer.
It really is.
So that is the Zenith watch that we have for today. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. We're just happy to be back and happy to share a drink with you, Noah.
Absolutely. Always good. We've shared plenty of drinks. We just haven't filmed. But to be able to get down. Obviously, we don't have the swivel chairs anymore because you guys hated those. And this is kind of a temporary setup we're trying out. But super excited to be back. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the Windsor Time channel. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.